So let's talk a little bit about how muscles respond. And in order to understand how muscles respond, we have to first understand how fatigue develops. The way in which we look at fatigue is based off of a cascade of events that occur within the muscle that leads to the loss of mechanical force. Initial fatigue development occurs as we lose the larger motor units fatigue becomes an extremely complex thing. So, short-term fatigue is I ask you to pick up a 1,000-pound weight. And you try as hard as you can to pick up a 1,000-pound weight, and you maybe move it what? A micrometer. And then you can no longer move it anymore. That is what? Short-term initial fatigue, because we've lost all of what? The largest motor units. Now I ask you to hold it there. As you hold it there, the muscles are undergoing contractions. They're undergoing chemical reactions. Chemical reactions utilize energy, but energy utilization is never what? 100% efficient. Whatever energy is not being transferred is lost, and it's lost in the form of what? Heat. As heat builds up, the muscle starts what? Burning. The burning sensation that you get from a sustained exercise or activity is not lactic acid, regardless of what everybody's ever told you. The burning sensation is the sensation of what? Heat. And is the heat building up within the center of the muscle and radiating outwards?
How does that? I mean, it must be an exaggeration of not cooking your muscles.
But it's not hard enough to cook your muscles, no. But once again, as soon as you get to about 39.6 degrees C, you start feeling extremely hot. 40 C is where you get hypothermic fatigue. That's where everything shuts down. So if you're doing a sustained muscle contraction, you're getting 40, 42, 43, 44, 45 in that one small area. So let's take a look at this long-term cascade. So, how does fatigue develop? So we start with the initial excitation. We start recruiting. When we start recruiting, we use the CP pathway to get a contraction. This gets exhausted in about 6 seconds. We have to keep working, which now means that we have to start using energetic pathways. We start building up metabolites. The force of contraction starts breaking down muscle tissue. As we start accumulating metabolites, and as we start breaking down muscle tissue, we start inhibiting the pathways. This starts signaling pain. This starts signaling a change of temperature, which inhibits or activates nervous tissue, which inhibits the initial signal. The short-term fatigue is the loss of the ATP-CP pathway. The long-term fatigue is inhibition of what? Central drive. Central drive is I no longer want to. So on Monday, you're going to be doing an EMG study where you're going to do a hand grip dynamometer test. And you're going to squeeze as hard as you can squeeze. And you're going to try to keep that squeeze for as long as you can. After about 6 seconds, you're now reliant upon this pathway to keep the contraction going. After about 35 seconds, for most of you, you're going to start building up what? Heat and pain. Notice what word is not anywhere on this pathway here. Lactic acid. After about a minute, that temperature and the metabolite change starts triggering sensory afferents and its distinct pathway known as the spondylothalamic pathway that says tissue damage is occurring. Hey dummy, you need to stop.